Most people don't realize that almost everything around them, buildings, cars, bridges, even the gas stations they stop at every day, exist because someone knew how to weld. It's one of those skills that works quietly in the background of everyday life. You may never pick up a welding torch yourself, but welding still affects you every single day. And beyond that, it is also a valuable career skill that many people overlook. I've been learning and working with welding for years, so I've seen firsthand how it works and just how important it is to the world around us. Today, I'm going to go a little deeper into the three main things: what welding is, why it's so important in real life, and what it takes to get started. First, I'm going to talk about what welding is. Welding is the process of joining materials, usually metals, by using high heat to melt the parts together so they fuse into one solid piece. Unlike something like bolts or screws, which hold the materials mechanically, welding actually creates a permanent bond. Once it's done correctly, the joint can be just as strong or even stronger than the original metal. In fact, according to the American Welding Society, welding is defined as a fabrication process that joins materials, usually metals, by causing fusion. This shows that welding isn't random, it's a structured and highly skilled process that requires knowledge and precision. There are several main types of welding, but the most common are MIG welding, flux core, TIG, and stick welding. MIG welding is often the easiest for beginners because it uses a wire feeder that continuously supplies material as you weld. So you just have to squeeze the trigger and go. It's commonly used in automotive work and manufacturing. TIG welding, on the other hand, is the most precise and requires a lot more control. It's often used for thinner materials or when appearance really matters, like in custom fabrication or aerospace work. Stick welding is more rugged and versatile, making it great for outdoor jobs or construction sites where conditions aren't always great. Each type of welding has its own purpose depending on things like the type of metal, how thick it is, and where the welding is being done. For example, welding on a pipeline in harsh weather conditions requires a completely different approach than welding thin material in a controlled shop. That's what makes welding not just a physical skill, but a technical one. You have to understand materials, settings, and conditions to do it right. Now that we understand welding, let's talk about why it matters so much. Welding plays a role in almost everything we rely on. Think about the buildings you see every day. The steel frames that hold them up are welded together. Bridges that carry thousands of cars every day depends on strong welds to stay safe and stable. Even something simple as the car you ride in is made up of hundreds, sometimes thousands of welded joints. It doesn't stop there. Pipelines that transport gas and oil across long distances are welded together section by section. Without welding, those systems wouldn't exist, and getting fuel to homes and businesses would be much more difficult. Even things like ships, airplanes, and trains rely heavily on welding to function safely. Because of all this, welding is always in demand. Infrastructure constantly needs to be built, repaired, and maintained. Welders are essential not just for creating new structures, but also for keeping existing ones safe. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, employment of welders is expected to stay steady because they are needed to build and maintain infrastructure. That shows welding isn't just a useful skill, it's a dependable and stable career path. Now let's talk about what it actually takes to get started with welding. To start welding, it is essential to have all the safety gear to keep you safe. You need equipment like a welder, a welding hood, leather welding gloves, and protective fire-resistant clothing. But the most important thing is learning how to use everything safely and correctly. Safety in welding is a huge deal. When you weld, you're working with extremely high temperatures, bright lights, and flying sparks. Without proper protection, you can get serious burns on your skin. Even more dangerous are the ultraviolet rays produced when welding. These can damage your eyes and cause something called arc flash, which is extremely painful and can lead to long-term vision problems. That's why you need a proper welding hood that can go from at least shade 10 or even darker. Beyond safety, welding takes a lot of practice. It's not something you get good at overnight. Learning how to control the weld, maintain a steady hand, and understand the different metals and how they react takes time. Many people start by attending a trade school where they can learn the basics in a structured environment. Others get started through apprenticeships working with experienced welders, and learning on the job. As the American Welding Society also states, proper training and safety practices are essential for beginners to avoid injury and improve skill. This reinforces how important it is to learn the right way from the start. The key is consistency. The more you practice, the better your welds become. Over time, what used to feel difficult starts to become second nature. So overall, welding is more than just a trade. It's a foundational skill that supports the world we live in. It joins metals together, but more importantly, it holds together the structures and systems we depend on every day. It's a skill that offers real-world impact, steady career opportunities, and the satisfaction of building something that lasts. Now that I've gone into deeper what welding is, why it's important, and how you can get started, next time you're out, when you see a building, drive over a bridge, or even fill up your car at a gas station, remember that somewhere along the way, welding made it possible.